So here's your lightning round question. If you get to ride in an elevator with our new governor and pitch him one policy priority related to water and a strong economy, what would that policy priority be? All right, Denise, go.
Governor Newsom, let's advance water equity that advances the environment, our economy, and equity.
Okay, Hala.
The state has started on some very exciting partnership with local governments on water projects, such as the WISP. And these are future or forward-looking projects. We need your support to help us take away some of the obstacles in our way so that we can manage water differently in California.
Okay, Dan.
So congratulations, condolences, Mr. Newsom. Thank you for your ambitious goal of building 3.5 million homes. That's, we call it BHAG, Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. Thank you for that. Please bring together with your charisma and your leadership, local, state, and federal governments to bring together a regulatory regime that allows you to achieve your housing goals.
Okay, Lorelei.
Governor Newsom, it's time for the legislator to look at the housing element laws, at housing laws, and what you're requiring, and let's get water aligned with that. Let's get SGMA aligned with that. Let's look at the Williamson Act. Let's put all of our land to work productively, but let's make sure that we're not hamstringing your housing goals with a water policy that hasn't taken into account land use.
Governor-elect Newsom, congratulations. I believe that you're a big thinker in terms of seeing the world in a 21st century framework. And if that is true, it would be wonderful if you would embrace as the goal for California those sustainable development goals and become the first subnational region on the planet to accomplish all those goals. Arguably by 2030. If it's later, it's later. But once you accomplish those goals, California can then become the fourth largest economy in the world because you'll have everybody aligned, collaboratively working towards something that's bigger than all of us.
Robin?
I would say, Governor Newsom, as I think you've already recognized, it's important that we more highly prioritize data, decision support, and information technology as a critical point or component of modernizing the state's water infrastructure, and not to mention a relatively cheap component of modernizing the state's water infrastructure, not just for the sake of policy setting at the state level, but also for the sake of really enabling and empowering local communities to come together and stop arguing about the numbers and get down to the solution making.
So my message to the Governor-elect Newsom would be, we need, as much as we need innovation and we need all the stakeholders to own it, we also need the stakeholders to own the risk, because inevitably some of the innovations aren't going to work out. And what we want to be able to do is, if all the stakeholders are bought in on the innovation and the risk, that we own the failure together. We're not pointing fingers, we're not suing each other, we're not hiding behind regulations. We're learning the lessons and we're moving on to the next innovation. And then I would ask for his autograph, please.
Not his picture? You're old school. Not a selfie? Joaquin.
I think I'm in the wrong elevator. I gotta go. I think first it would be we struggle, not just our agency, but all state agencies with IT. It's hard to recruit good people. We lose them to Silicon Valley. We don't pay nearly enough. And so we need, our procurement processes are, abhorrent. So there needs to be a big rethink there, and he should, maybe focus on the Department of Technology. I would also pivot slightly and then say, the California Water Action Plan and what this administration did insofar as bringing together Department of Agriculture, Resources Agency, Cal EPA, everybody, and really, and the drought, emphasized the need for that certainly, but you need to have that crosstalk. You have to have that coordination. It isn't just about any one agency's, roles and responsibilities. It is, again, how to, folks on the outside don't care. State government is state government. We are but one entity. especially to the public's mind. So to the extent that he can get those conversations going early, create a great team that cross-cuts across all the agencies, I think is going to be really key. So that's all.
Wow, Governor, fancy meeting you here. I'm Jason Phillips with Bryant Water Authority. I'm responsible for delivering water to over 1 million acres in the San Joaquin Valley, very productive acres. And you've probably heard that there's a water crisis brewing in the valley, and if we don't take major action soon, there's going to be land retirement forced on us of probably between 1 to 2 million acres. Hey, wait a second, Governor, why did you just push 5? You don't.
Good answer, Jennifer. I'm going to cut you off unless you're.
No.
Unless you grab it.
Bear with me, Governor. Real quick, we are not prepared in the San Joaquin Valley to deal with this. What we desperately need is a strategic plan for how to balance water conditions in the San Joaquin Valley in the next 15 years. Would you be willing to take a meeting to talk about partnering with us to develop that plan?
Jennifer, you got him.
Governor, congratulations. As you move forward in water for California, remember that flexibility is the name of the game. We need it for the existing grid, we need grid improvements, and we need the ability to use decision to support science in order to operate those as best we can. And I think you just ran into my friend AG on your way up, and I agree with him when he says, don't wait for the perfect plan, we're gonna suffer every year that we delay.
That's a nice callback to an earlier one. That's good. Okay, Kurt, you're from an obscure little water agency in Northern California.
Governor, I'm going to resist the overwhelming urge to push the stop button and have a real conversation. Anyway, what I would say is that your ability to accomplish your water agenda is going to be largely dependent on who you appoint to director positions and board positions. And I really ask you to give some real thought to appointing proven leaders that have expertise in their field, champions that want to champion projects that go beyond the regulatory requirements in their departments and find comprehensive interest-based solutions that take people out of their silos and provide an overall solution.
Hey, it was great. That was a terrific answer. Not what I expected. That's perfect. Ashley, you got him. He's yours.
Governor Newsom, very nice to meet you. I want to tell you I was really impressed with how you jumped right into the job the day after the election and sent a letter to the state board asking them to delay their decision so that the settlement negotiations had a chance. I want to urge you to stay involved in those settlement negotiation discussions to make sure they happen and we come out with a real solution that we can measure with outcomes for fish and wildlife while manageable, also for communities and for the local economies. And this is very important for you to do because if this does not get solved now, you are going to have escalated conflict over water during your administration when you have many important goals, including the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, which, as you know, was the first major water law in 100 years, but just passing legislation doesn't make it happen. It's a huge lift, and you really got to double down on providing support to implement it successfully.